Hi, hello, welcome back to my Innermost Musings. I know it's been a while, but permit me to say Happy New Year. Okay, so you're welcome to this space again. This is where I share my story about my journey and my faith and how it has been over the years. So I'll be doing this video will be more like a series of 5 videos to explain where I've been, the truth, and how God came through for me. So, it's a story time, so sit down and enjoy. So today I will start with where have I been, the truth, where have I been. So I know you remember the time I graduated. I will put the clip here so you see. After graduation, you know, it's everybody's dream to actually get a job, and then my baby is already old enough to go to crèche or stay with somebody where I go work. And after school, I have a 6 month visa that is like a temporary visa that allow me to stay in the state for 6 months to look for job. So I'm thinking, okay, in my thought then I was like, okay, I'll use that medium to, you know, get a job so I can save up for a flight ticket to go back home to Nigeria, definitely. So I started the process of applying for passport for my child passport, and while waiting I was believing God for a job to be able to cater for her needs, like I mentioned earlier on, as well as um, save up for a flight ticket back home. But then that's where the reality begins. At first, I started with the process of getting a permanent residence because, like I mentioned earlier on, the temporary residence only lasts for 6 months. So I started with the process. It was so tedious. Like, come today, come tomorrow. They will see one thing to check, one thing to ask you to go back again, and then you have to book appointments. By the time we get there, I've been there earlier, like 3 a.m. just or 7 a.m. So by the time we come, the list is already like you are already on number 26, and they will only attend to like 7 or 10 at most in a day, and then the journey continues. It was so tedious. I had to be like, what's wrong? It was so tedious. And then apart from that, after graduation, I graduated in June, and after graduation, uh, we were given 2 months to stay in the dormitory. I and my child will live in the dormitory, so we're given 2 months extra to stay in the dormitory. So I began searching for apartments where myself and my child would move into, and that was it. Like, it felt everything was overwhelming. And even before I graduated, I've been searching for apartment. So it was so overwhelming. You would think to get an apartment, should it be a problem? It was very, very. It became so overwhelming. I started praying to God and God. And before I knew it, it was already August. I will put a clip of my video here on my birthday. That was August 31st. That was the last day we were given to stay in the dormitory. And there was nothing, like no show. I've been, messaging caretakers or even house owners online to ask for apartment, and then I will tell them I have a child, because that's another problem for me, because of my child. So there was even one I went to, and the woman was telling me I'm lying. I lied. I'm like, how will you say I lied? I told you I have a child. He said, no, this is not a child. This is a baby. I'm like, come on, my child is well over 1 year plus, and you're telling me she's the baby. So that has been the issue, like, over time, facing how to submit my documents for permanent residence, and as well as searching for house has been so tedious. And then the other thing was registration. It is the school that has been giving us registration over time. It is school that has been giving us registration over time. And now that we need to leave the dormitory, we have to also look for somebody that will give us registration. And one thing about the house search in this place is that most house owners doesn't want to give a registration to foreigners because they will have to pay tax on it. So they don't want to give registration to foreigners at all. So that has been another issue that we've been facing. So now to cut the long story short, I'm just saying, like, I feel like I'm saying it right now because I've healed from it. It has become a testimony. But during those times, it was so overwhelming. I could not think of other things. I was just praying, Lord, how do we get house to stay? How do we get, and the winter is coming soon. How do I get registration? And if I stay without registration for 7 days, that's like an illegal stay because as a foreigner, I'm expected to have registration. That's registration is a kind of paper that will show where I live. Okay, so that's what the registration is all about, to show my address, which is very important as a foreigner for me to have. So after all that, I reach out to so many people that, in quotes, agent that sells registration. Some will say 50,000 currency of the money where I am right now. And that's like outrageous because come on, it's just registration. And it was so overwhelming. I began praying and believing God for where we're going to live. And then at the tail end, when it was going to August ending, and we had to leave the place, I got a plot to the place. It was no. It was as I was entering the apartment, it was oozing already. I'm like, are you sure people are living in this place? How come it's smelling like this? And then apart from that, and I asked, okay, where are we going to be getting water to cook? The man said we're going to be buying water to cook. I'm like, no, I cannot be living here and be buying water to cook. And I said, okay, the other option is for me to get water from the bathroom where we are having a bath. I'm like, that's a no-no for me. And that was how I did not get the apartment. I left it. And I was still believing God for a house where we are going to stay. Then on my birthday, August 31st, I was still in that house. That was the last day we were given. I had a message on an hostel house. There are I say private hostels outside that people pay to stay there. I remember when I first got into the country, I stayed there for close to 3 weeks. So right now, I messaged them. I told them about my situation. That I have a child. Do they have a single room that they can rent out to us? $20 per night. I'm like, that's too much for me because I've not been working like you all know. I've been okay. I make hair when I have clients, and I also cook when the opportunity comes. And then there was a time I also got a daycare job. So, but the main thing is, the thing is, I will show all the clips here. The woman only calls me whenever one of the staff is not around, and the pay is very, very little compared to the normal rate because yes, I get to take my child alone. That's a plus, but then it's not something I can bank on and say I'm working. And over time, one of my friends also, uh, she's a seamstress. In her place of work, the cleaner left, and then she was like, if I can be coming to clean the place, so I'll go there early before anyone comes to the office to clean the place. So those are the things I've been doing, but I can't call it a job because the money is little. It's just little. So I still get money from Nigeria to actually cater for my needs and that of my child. So basically that's how it has been over time. And then now paying $200 per night for a house when I don't know it's not something that is visible for me. It's really too much. So then I met this person uh, a while, like 2 weeks to the time I was supposed to leave the dormitory. And then we got talking, and he was like, and he called me on the phone. He was like, Mommy Ella, that's the name of my child, obviously. And then he asked, you said you're going to move because his dormitory is right in front of mine. And then he said, you're going to move, that I am calling to ask if you need help with carrying any load. And I'm like, yes, we're going to move. As a matter of fact, today is the last day we're supposed to stay in this dormitory. However, I don't even know where we're going to go to. And that was it. It was really overwhelming. I remember joining, normally I join NSPPD every morning. I pray there every morning. And I remember joining one time, and there was a woman who shared a testimony of, when Papa said we should do a video recording of how we are, and then say that, okay, by this time, next time I'll be doing a new video, I won't be in this shoe again. I did that video in faith on my birthday. In fact, there's this family friend of mine that I have here. They are also uh, uh, a white. They reach out to me because it happened to be their first child's birthday happened to be on the same day with mine. So they reach out to me that they would like to take their daughter and me together out for a dinner for our birthday. But I told them I'm not going anywhere because it's not that I feel like I don't have something to celebrate. Don't misquote me. It was never about that. But then I'm like, why will I go and celebrate and the next minute I don't know where I'm going to put my bag, you know, or my child in this weather? So it was really overwhelming for me. And so I remember that man that called me, coming over. He was like, "Can I come over?" I said, "Yes, you can." And then he came over, and then we got talking. And then, fortunately, he happened to be that same day happened to be his birthday too. So we got talking, and then he had to call his own church member to see if anybody can help. That okay, I have a sister that is stranded and in the house. She has a child. They asked me to send my picture over, and I also asked me the church I'm attending that they will try and reach out to the pastor to let them know I'm stranded. And they do reach out to the pastor, but till now that I'm talking, the pastor's wife has never like reached out to me back to actually ask me, how did I do it? How did we later get where we're staying? But then I'm not holding it against them. I'm just trying to tell you how the man was able to help me. And then in that moment when I was just there, um, that my foreign white friend family messaged me. Her name is Angelina because you'll be hearing her a lot in this video and you will see her too. She messaged me and then she's like, Vicky, what's up? How far have you gotten an apartment? Where are you going to move to? I was like, I don't have anywhere to move to. We've not gotten an apartment. The apartment that we went to check yesterday was not okay at all. We cannot move there. And then she was like, okay, I've spoken with a particular home for women, like a shelter home for women, and they asked us to come September 1st, which is the next day. That can the school allow me to stay the night till the next day? And I'm like, oh, really? And then that's how myself and the man that was with me to help me went to meet the security to tell them the situation. And then the security were very nice. They said we can stay over till the next day, but we must leave the next day. And then we agreed. And that was it. That was how God came through for me and my child. And I will show you the video of the house. Ella, be careful. So we are in the kitchen now. We are eating, and you can see. Ella said cheese. Yeah, go inside. Come inside. Leave it. Yeah. Okay. On the 1st of September, Angelina, they came over in the evening around 9 p.m. to help us carry our bags, and then That was how we moved to that apartment, that place, the shelter home. And we stayed here for 1 month. We did not pay a dime at the shelter. We did not pay a dime. We stayed there for a month. And that, I don't know, what happened at that particular point in time was the Bible says that Gentiles will come to your rising. He said he will never leave nor forsake us. That was it for me. For that 1 month I was there, I felt this is God. Because how can I be in another man's land? This is not even my country. I would say, okay, I have siblings that I can always run to if something happened, or I have a family friend around, relative, auntie that I can always run to. This is a place where I have no one. And God came through, and we did not pay any dime. We did not pay anything for that 1 month. For the whole of September, we did not pay anything. And that was how God came through. So the only thing I was focusing on was how to get a job and how to get that for myself and that of my child. And after that, I began when we moved to the apartment. I began going out. Like I mentioned earlier, I make hair. So because of that, there are rules and regulations in the apartment. That's why we could not stay there for long. That no visitor is allowed. So that means nobody can come and make hair again. So the major source of my income is making hair, and so that means I have to go visit them. And most of the people I make hair for, they are students. And there are some students here that they don't allow visitors in their hostel. So that means where will I take them to? And then secondly, most of them are guys. I cannot go to their place or go to their friend's place. Some suggested coming to their friend's place. I'm not comfortable going to their friend's place or going to a place where there will be like a lot of guys and then with my child alone. So I was like, who among my friends will I be calling that? Okay, follow me. I want to go and make hair. Everybody is busy with their thing. So I had to think, okay, what that was it. So I was looking for another way to make money, to earn a living, obviously. So I tried applying for several jobs like dishwashing, like cleaning jobs, like several other jobs, many jobs that I can do, and then even teaching jobs. So at the point I applied for a teaching job, and they accepted me. They asked me to come and teach for the first time, but I searched everywhere to, among my friends or the people I know to at least see a place to drop my child, Ella, for me to go and teach first. Because at the point I stopped telling people that I have a child. Why? Because anytime I tell, and they ask me to come and resume work, and then I get there, and then they ask me to work from, normally they work 12 hours from like, let's say 10 to 10 p.m., 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And I tell them I cannot go 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. They'll be like, why? And then if I tell them I have a child, that's the end. So I stopped telling people that I have a child. So when I go for interview, I don't tell them I have a child. I usually put my child in one of my friends' office, the one that was that is seamstress, AY. I normally like drop her with AY while I quickly go and then for interview, and that was how I was doing it. But then so I stopped telling them I have a job, so at least I can get a job. But then when they now tell me, okay, but you don't have a child, you're no longer working, schooling, so you're supposed to be able to work 12 hours. I'm like, I cannot work 12 hours. At a point when it was uh too much, like they were complaining at the shelter that I go out too much, that the shelter home is meant for dependent women, and me as a person, I'm not dependent on them. I I'm a foreigner, and I'm the only foreigner among them. So I cook my food. I also eat their food. Don't get me wrong, but you know how white eat. Majority of their meal is chicken, is food like meat. While the carbohydrate part is very small. So that cannot do me. You know how we eat in Africa, like you eat majority of our food is carbohydrate, then you now put a little protein on top. So that's how we eat. So that's one of the. So because of that, I asked them, can I be cooking my food? And then they agreed. I started cooking my food, but I still go out every day. I told you I got that cleaning job for the office, so I had to go early before the office resume just to clean. And the shelter was really far. It's like 26 stop to where the location is. So I have to go as early as possible. And most time when I go in the morning, because of the nature of the area of the place where it's located, The buses that are plying the route are very small. Like they are just four buses. There's no train, no no other means of transportation apart from bus. So it's just four buses that are plying the route. And because of that, so it's always filled up all the time from people that are coming from there that want to go into the city. So when I'm going with stroller, sometimes I don't have a space to put my stroller. So I have to allow several buses to pass me by before I can see an almost empty bus that can go in with stroller. So that became a problem. So I started carrying my child. I will leave the stroller back home. I'll carry my child in my hands, and so I can meet up with the early bus to be able to go clean and then come back home. So I was doing that, and then the shelter home, they were like, the place is only for um, dependent women, not independent. Yeah, dependent women. So that they asked me, what do I want to do? I said, I want to work. I cannot be sitting down here. It's not possible. I need to save up for a flight ticket back home. We need to go home. And then that was how, okay, they said, okay, there's an apartment outside that they will take us there. That, okay, it's a 3-bedroom apartment, and there's one mother too there already, a lady there that has a child also, that will be sharing the house rent together. I said, okay, no problem, that will be okay, that will be better for me, because since you said I cannot stay here. And that was how we moved again. At first I was, you're welcome to our new room, our new apartment rather. So this is the kitchen, as you can see, and of course the dining is with it, and the fridge, and I don't have any other business with all those things. That's why I'm not sure you. This is the toilet, and this is our bedroom. Okay, our bedroom, and then this is now our new room. See, this is our new room. Can you see? It's the wardrobe and then the door. So this is our new apartment. I don't want this video to be too long. So that was how we moved into the apartment. So if you have watched to this time, thank you so much for tuning in and for listening to this story. Like I mentioned earlier, it will be like a 4x5 series so that I wouldn't want the video to be too long. And I'll see you in my next video. But I want you to know that no matter the situation you're facing, God is always there. You might feel like He's silent, but He's always there. You know, at that moment, when I felt like today is the last day we were given to live in the dormitory, and there was nothing forthcoming. But God says, my ways are not your ways. My thoughts are not your thoughts. They are higher than your thoughts. And then at the 11th hour, in fact, I'll call that 11 point something, He showed up for me. And then we were able to get a place, not just a roof. Ever since I've been in that country, ever since I've been there, I've not lived in a beautiful place as that. Even all my dormitory, okay, the first dormitory was okay, but I mean, the place was okay. It was better than all the dormitory I've lived in. And I did not pay a dime to stay there for a month. If God can come true for me, He can for you too. All right. So thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.